Hey, I'm Mel and welcome to opsaidpodcast, your go-to for the craziest Reddit stories.
I'm Marie, and today's episode is going to be full of drama.
And I'm May. Ready? Let's start. The first story is from Relationship Advice, and this one already sounds good. I, 28 female, rejected my husband, 38 male, for the first time, and his reaction grossed me out. My husband and I are trying to sex up our sex life. In brackets, I am the one actively trying to. He's just along for the ride. We were watching a racy movie and I asked him if he could choose 2 toys out of our collection tonight. He gave a "do we have to" kind of reaction and made a vibrator joke. We went to the bedroom and I pulled out the box of toys and he chose the wand. And I asked him if he could choose another and he said no. Because it feels like pulling teeth to try to get him to be proactive in our sex life, it upset me enough that I told him I don't want to have sex anymore. It's the first time I've ever rejected him, whereas he probably rejects me at least several times a month. He demanded I come back to bed or he was going to get really pissed off. I think that reaction is insane. Trying to communicate how I feel about our sex life makes me feel unsexy and undesired. He refused to communicate with me and now I'm sleeping on a couch. We're already going to couples counselling. What the hell am I supposed to do?
Get out right now. Listen, there is nothing worse than being in the relationship where you don't have the sex you feel like you should be having.
Listen.
When you are actively asking for someone to find you sexy, because it sounds like you're almost begging, or if not already, begging for him to find you sexy or do the things that you want to do in the bedroom. Meanwhile, I'm pretty sure at the end of it, he enjoys it. Girl, stop begging. Stop begging. And actually figure out if you want to be with this person, because being rejected how many times a month, having to introduce sex into the conversation, that's boring. That is so boring. And the thing about it is, a lot of men think that their sex is the good one. And it's not. Your basic vanilla sex is not what is driving me to do the things that I need to do. Like, please don't do any more of this begging. If you're already in counselling, because I was going to say, you should go to therapy. You're already there. So exit stage left, sister. Please.
Girl, get out of that relationship.
Yeah,
You two sex drive are very, very different. Your sex drive is higher than his. And also your version of sex looks different to his. There is no reason that a woman should be rejected sexually in her marriage 7 times a month. Several times a month.
I love the fact that she got a number.
I know. That's what I heard. I'm not going to lie. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. And his response is all humiliating.
Yeah.
I could not... Look, girl, there's another man out there that wants to have sex with you in the way that you want to have sex. I promise you this. I promise you, you're just in the wrong relationship. And no amount of counselling, I don't think, is going to sort this. And also, I have a real problem. Why did you sleep on the couch? He should have slept in the couch. The woman should have got the bed. And especially because you're beefing because you won't have sex. It's you that should have got the bed. He should have been on the couch. And you need to dead this relationship. You're actually not sexually satisfied by your husband. I think it's more than that. Like, she said right at the beginning that he is basically not proactive. She's the active one. He just goes along for the ride. He doesn't even do that. Because whenever you suggest anything, he says, "Do we have to?" What?
He doesn't want it.
He doesn't want it. I've never been in a relationship or whatever it may be and been rejected by a guy. Most men they're always up for it. Always up for it. So maybe he has certain issues or things that he needs to deal with and is not being open about it. But in a relationship, even outside of sex, you need 2 proactive, 2 active people in a relationship. And it sounds like you're doing your bit and he is not. And I do understand that men take rejection sexually very badly. It's because apparently, from what I've read, their way of forming intimacy. But how about he view it from your perspective? You have been rejected several times a month, and you forgive him, you crack on. But whereas, look at the way he's treating you. It isn't okay.
Girl, this ain't it. This sounds awful.
It sounds terrible.
Dead it.
I've got an edit. There was no point where I was forcing him to do something he didn't want to do. We got the toys as part of a compromise for the lack of effort he puts into our sex life. For example, I've asked him to blindfold me for 5 years. He doesn't say no. He says, do I have to? I've had conversations with him about how remarks like that kill the mood. And then he tells me he wants to try more kinky stuff, but when it's actually in the moment, he'll sigh and act like it's a chore.
Oh my God.
I feel like I make such a big effort, and this man has not once given me a massage without me asking. And like the 7 massages I've ever asked him for, not once has he been able to respond with anything but, do I have to? Get out. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, my chest. Get out right now.
Girl,
That's a big deal, you know. It's a big deal to not feel sexually appreciated. I don't even know if that's the right word. Or like
it's not sexually satisfied. Forget appreciated. There's no satisfaction here.
And obviously she hasn't mentioned that once they do go through with it, if it's good or not. She's just saying that the actual act of getting to it feels like a chore. So I'm just like, what are you there for? What this is happening now. You've got years in this marriage. Is this really how you want to spend the rest of your time?
She said he hasn't blindfolded her for 5 years.
No, she's been asking him
for blindfolding
to be blindfolded for 5 years. And what has he now?
Can we also talk about what rejection does to someone? It is soul destroying. Like whether you're male or female, what he's been doing, how he rejects her, the lack of massages, asking for blindfolding, the fact that he's not proactive, and when she does suggest something, he always responds with, do I have to? That is soul destroying. Can we talk about how that can knock your confidence?
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you one time, let me tell you something. One time I had to ex maybe laugh instead of react the way I wanted him to, yeah? And I'm telling you right now, that in that moment, that lasted like 2 seconds, I said, I'll never give you this, because I'd made an effort. And I said, I'll never, and he never got that again, yeah? I'm telling you right now, the way I felt rejected just because he nervously laughed. So I don't know what she's going through for years. Like, that's enough to feel ashamed, to feel rejected, to feel not so confident. It's nasty work.
It's
nasty
giving,
work.
Ew.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I feel sorry for you, girl. But instead of writing to Reddit, go sign that divorce paper.
Yeah.
Because it's never that serious. There's so many men you can have sex with, and it'll be so much better than you begging your husband. Like you're begging for sex.
Also,
like,
can I just say,
the fact that he reduces you to that is horrible. That should not be the standard in your relationship. And the fact that you can even recall, it's basically been at least 5 years of you being unsatisfied. What you're telling me, girl, is that you are sexually frustrated within your marriage. Do you even hear that sentence?
it's crazy work.
No.
Can I also say, I'm totally with what May said, but I want to reiterate, just in case there's guys here that are watching and thinking, we all want to get divorced or end the relationship based on sex. It's a lot more than sex. This man is exhibiting a lot of traits that I don't think say that he should be in a relationship. He is not proactive. He's insensitive, inconsiderate. He's unwilling to do any kind of work required. He has a negative and nasty attitude. It's a whole wealth of things as to why she should get out. I just want to stipulate that.
But sex is also a really massive part of any relationship. So this isn't something that should be dismissed or overlooked. We are breaking it, like, I don't feel bad about anything I just said, actually. Like, I really stand on that.
You shouldn't
be sexually frustrated within
Agreed.
any type of relationship. I'm talking about even one without a big title like marriage.
Mm-hmm.
If you're feeling sexually unsatisfied by your partner, you're with the wrong partner. And especially if you're telling me that you're going counselling and it seems to make absolutely no difference.
Listen.
What are you doing? You're simply wasting time.
And money. Okay, I actually have 2 more edits. Okay, edit 2. Feels crazy to have this blow up. I cried earlier today because I heard a couple friend of ours did a pottery class together. I literally haven't asked him to do anything like that in years, because the first handful of times I asked him to do an activity like that, he also said things ranging from, do I have to, to, I will never do these things with you. I know living like this is restricting my happiness. Guess it's time to take some steps to move on. Absolutely.
So
What
his
the hell?
little
Can I just ask a
attitude-
question? What are you there for?
Yeah, why?
Why are you there? He doesn't even want to go on dates with you. He doesn't want to have sex with you the way you want to. What are you doing?
He said, I will never do these things with you.
That's crazy.
He's got a bad attitude.
Is that not what I just said? No, seriously. What?
Please. Okay, what's the other edit? Let's get rid of the story. Oh, we're wasting time.
This one is not a puzzle. Leave. Okay. Edit 3. He went out with a friend of his and we talked when he came home. So my husband is a struggling artist and works part-time at a regular job. His friend is also an artist and told him that his wife pays a larger portion of their life/bills, etc. But she doesn't mind it because she wants the father of her children to have integrity and be the guy that does the thing he sought out to do, regardless of whether or not he makes a lot of money. My husband insinuated that she's a supportive wife and I am not. I'm so exhausted. I'm also an artist, in brackets, with a corporate day job and an evening corporate job, and I'm a freelance artist on the side. I make about 15k a year on my art. My husband closes anywhere between 2 to 10k on his art. We have a 2-bedroom and 1 room is his dedicated studio. I do not have a home studio. I make do with our living space. I have put thousands of dollars, not to mention mental and emotional energy, into helping his art career. He's left me to go to social events /trips /family gatherings alone because he needs the time to do his art. And I have deluded myself into being proud of being such a chill wife, giving him the freedom to do what he wants. Everyone we know gives me props for being such a supportive wife. I can't believe he's comparing me to someone else's wife and saying I'm not supportive. Truly, what the fuck? Hoping for an amicable divorce, but my gut tells me it's going to be nasty. I just wanted a nice, simple life with someone I love. What a bummer.
I'm so glad you mentioned divorce.
Listen.
Right.
Because this is a 360 bad situation. Not only is he not giving you the sex, he doesn't want to hang out with you. And then you are supporting him the best you can. He could have a corporate job, but he doesn't. He has the whole bedroom for his art and he's still ungrateful. And then he doesn't even want to be supportive of you either. What are you doing there? This is called a waste of time.
Yeah.
Please get out now. You can't get your time back, but you know what you can get? Sex life back. Freedom to do the things that you want to do. Now, please.
And then
let's not waste time on this story any longer. This is a very rubbish situation. No, truly.
It's true, I agree. But I just want to say, but not him being shady as well.
Can you imagine?
It's always the ones with the gall.
Do you know what? With me, that shady behaviour, yeah, I just say everybody not do it around me because don't let me start. The way my mouth is set up, if I were her, the amount of content I would have. Anyway, we've got a top comment. You said in a comment you're thinking of kids. I would not advise having children until you've sorted this out and have a healthy sex life you're both happy with. Kids will make a problem like this 100 times worse.
Girl, I'm so glad that this is a childless marriage.
Listen.
This is nonsense.
You said in the comments you were thinking about kids. Can we just talk about what in this whole scenario has made you think, let's have a child? Waste, man. Please.
Shit.
Mine is from Cheating Stories. I just caught my wife of 18 years. I got a friend request on Facebook from a woman I didn't know. We had some of the same friends, so I accepted it. Come to find out, she caught my wife and her husband in her bed together. She had her daughter in her arms when this happened. She knows my wife and thought they were friends. I dropped my wife off at another friend's house so they could go to the expo all weekend together. Come to find out, her friend was already there and this dude's truck was parked on the street. We have 2 kids together and she has been using our daughter as an excuse for months to go to this other friend's house who was covering for her while my daughter would stay overnight with her daughter. I guess He also comes over to her friend's house when my daughter and wife are there. I'm finding all of this out today after I dropped her off. I tried to call my wife with no answer, so I text her that she's caught and she denies it. I finally got her to admit it after a few hours of back-to-back messages. I'm hurt but feel glad that I know so I don't have to deal with an unfaithful wife. She doesn't work, but I do, and I work a lot so we can afford to live. I got a bonus last week of 8K and it's all gone with my paycheck from today as well. She really put me and our family in a bad way. She not only wrecked the other family, but ours too. I've never cheated and don't understand why she did. Now I think about how many times she's done it over the last years.
Oh, poor guy, man. Honestly, like, yeah, obviously, you get that divorce. She sounds like a wrong, and I don't know why you didn't just have a face-to-face conversation rather than going back and forth.
Crazy.
Messaging. That's
crazy work.
Especially for a conversation this big. But anyway, it is what it is. Obviously, the relationship needs to come to an end.
Yeah. I've got nothing else.
Yeah, same. Top comment. You have to leave her. If you don't, you won't rest well forever. If you do, you will enter hell briefly. Some people here will tell you, don't leave the house, don't start dating. That is the worst boilerplate advice. These things should never be said to anyone because they may work for some and they may kill for others. This comment, I don't know if they're giving good advice or bad advice, but just get a divorce. Get a divorce and take it day by day. That's all we can say. And then figure out what is how your kids are going to fit into this new life because your wife doesn't work. How is that going to work? So you just need to figure out the logistics. But again, if you feel like staying, you can stay, but you also know what she's doing. She's got an elaborate plan. She's got a friend to back her. So yeah, that's it.
Agreed.
My story comes from Am I the Arsehole? Am I the arsehole for thinking about divorcing my wife after she drunkenly exposed me to our group of friends? Guys, I literally don't know what to do after this weekend. Posting from a burner account since I am connected with a lot of friends and family on my account. The issue here happened Saturday night. We had our friend group over. There are 6 of us couples in there and we were hosting at our house. The night was progressing pretty normal. We had done dinner and were just hanging out on the couches chatting. Everyone had been drinking over the course of the evening, so we were all pretty comfy. My wife, Amy, all fake names, was talking with one of the other girls about my new job. I recently got a promotion that comes with a nice raise. The downside is that I have to travel a decent amount, up to 2 weeks a month, but only 3 to 4 days at a time at the most. We were excited for the changes the extra income will provide and how it will change our future, so the travel was something we agreed to being worth it. As they were chatting, her friend Pamela was talking about how they make it work, since her husband also travels for work a lot. The conversation was actually quite helpful, honestly, in a lot of ways, as there were some good ideas in there. That is, until it happened. Heidi jokingly said, and be sure to order some sex toys that are the same size as him, so you can still have sex while he is gone. Now, she was giggling, just making light of the fact that I would be gone, and that the biggest challenge they had was the interruption to their sex life. No harm in this, right? That is, until my wife said, I don't think they make them that tiny.
Hey!
Guys, I went totally pale. Everyone stopped talking and you could just feel the awkwardness in the room. I think she realised what she had said because she tried to backpedal, but the damage was done. I just stared at her in disbelief. She just kept trying to backpedal and saying, I'm so sorry.
Too late.
That's even
I
worse.
just stood up and walked out. I didn't know what to say or do. I headed over to a buddy's house. I was sober, I don't drink. I didn't tell him the story, just that we had an argument. But I feel so violated by Amy. Now, the backstory here, what she said is most likely true. I'm not endowed at all. I have known this my whole life, basically. Any guy can back me up when I say we are all conscious of our size. I'm just under 3 inches hard. I have always been super insecure about it, but our sex life also was never lacking because I've made up for it in other ways in the bedroom, and she has never lacked in the orgasm department. We just get there in other ways. Now, here is where I feel like the arsehole. I want to divorce her. I feel so violated. I feel like I can never see these friends again. I feel like all they will be thinking about when I am around her is her comment. And well, how tiny is it really? But my asshole feeling comes in because I also have known for a long time that it is small. So I steered into the skies, I guess you could say. And I am more submissive in the bedroom and enjoy it when she pokes fun at it in the bedroom. But that was just us. But I just feel so violated with it being public knowledge. But I also may have made my bed here by just being okay with the dirty talk. I don't know. And for those wondering, yes, she has called and texted a ton of times yesterday apologising for outing me, but I told her I needed space for a bit. Honestly, I don't even know if I'll read the replies. I just wanted to vent this somewhere, and I have no one to talk to about it. My buddy I'm staying with just thinks we had a fight. I feel so lost. I feel like an asshole, but just don't know if I can trust her again or feel secure enough to see any of them again.
I don't even know what to say. This is... I do feel sorry for you though.
Yeah.
Not because of the content of what was said, the embarrassment. I probably would never see those friends again.
Yeah, same.
I would not see those friends again because time will not heal those wounds. I'm so sorry. It could be 10 years, could be 5 days. It will never heal. That embarrassment is cemented. It will be cemented in my brain, and I don't know what to say about your wife. It could actually just be a mistake that she just made. Well, not a mistake, but she obviously said the wrong thing. But yeah, I don't know where you go from here, buddy.
I feel sorry for him. When you're in a relationship, you know, your partner obviously is aware of content that could be quite embarrassing. Unfortunately, it sounds like she was drunk, right? Whereas he doesn't drink. And so,
That's
chalk it
sobered
up to
everyone up though.
Absolutely. Chalk it up to the alcohol. She can definitely blame it, and it probably honestly is as a result of alcohol. So I think you can get past this though, for sure. I do think you can get past it, but you need to make sure, like, have a stern talk with her and say that your sex life should not be public discussion. It shouldn't need to be said, but obviously, pending this, it needs to be said. Based on the situation you were in, it needs to be said. I think, I will personally distance myself from those friends. We no longer are friends with Tom, Katie, and whoever for a while, but I think you can also get past it as well. Not every guy has got, 6 and 8 plus, so it is who it is. It feels really humiliating, but you can definitely get past it.
Okay, so I don't think that you're an asshole for wanting a divorce. I think that, the humiliation, the embarrassment was so large that, it makes sense. But here's the thing. It's not a lie. It's not a lie. You
but it's
know
not
it. She knows it. Wait. It's not a lie. You know it. She knows it. You couldn't deny it.
No.
I just think that maybe she was drunk. That's why she said it. Because, look, you've been together for how long now? I think it was maybe just a slip of the tongue. I don't think it was malicious intent, because as soon as she said it, even she realised it. So maybe it was a shock even to her that it came out. And I just think, hear her out. If you think that it came from a malicious place, then yes, please go get that divorce. But if you know her character and you don't think, and she's never ever exposed you in any way similar to this, then maybe she honestly made a mistake and it was just the wine that was talking. That's all I'm going to say.
I just think it's highly embarrassing.
That's what I think
I
as
just
well.
think it's honestly, the friends will not see me again. The friends don't have to see you again, but at the same time, I think it's something that you can work through.
Yeah.
It was an incredibly embarrassing thing for her to slip out, but like May said, it's the truth. But, sorry, it's just I don't think they make it that small.
Oh.
That's crazy work.
I
That is crazy. I cannot. As I'm trying to give the advice, it's like, they don't make it that small. They don't make it that small. That's all that's going through my mind. So I'm just like, wow.
I honestly, I don't think.
I'm so sorry for
I
him.
don't think he's coming from a bad place.
No.
I think it was a slip of the tongue.
Literally.
And I think based on that, honestly, just have a conversation. She probably feels so bad.
Yeah.
And also, you don't drink. I don't drink alcohol. So I always feel like when people drink alcohol, a lot of the times they say really silly stuff.
Yeah.
But because if you're a person that has never or hasn't been drunk in a long time, you do kind of see it as, but you still know what you're saying. I always give I give leniency to people that drink alcohol because you can actually actively see the attitudes change. You can see how they go from pretty smart people and you can see it decline like as they drink more and more. So for me personally, you can take it quite serious and be like, well, why would you say that and blah, blah, blah. But they're not of the same mind.
Yeah.
They're not. They're actually not. I'm not making an excuse. As a person that doesn't drink, I'm telling you, I've seen it happen, which is why a lot of the time I just choose to not be there. When you're not there, what can you see and what can you hear and what can you get offended by? So take into consideration that she was drunk. She was drunk, man.
Look, I think that your decision-making has to be based on the character of Amy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If it came from a bad place, like it came from, I don't know, resentment, then yes, please go get that divorce. But if you genuinely think that it was a mistake on her part, it's not who she is, it's information she wouldn't willingly give out in the entire time that you've known her, because this isn't a secret to you guys. Like, if that's not the case, then I don't think that you need to... I don't think that divorce would be your solution here. I think a conversation would be.
And this is just your ego talking. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
your ego was
bruised.
massively bruised.
Yeah.
So, like, take time to heal, and then you can go past. Because let's be honest, when you say to people, "Why did you divorce?" Are you going to say to them, "It's because she said my penis was small"?
And it's like, is it?
Yeah, it is. It is. But I make up for it in other ways. Sir, think about it.
Yeah. Okay, we have a top comment. Nah, man, you're not the asshole.
This is a guy, clearly.
Okay, nah, man, you're not the asshole. Your wife basically speed ran your worst insecurity in front of all of your friends like it was open mic night. There's a massive difference between playfully teasing in private and public humiliation. And she knows that, which is why she instantly started backpedaling. You didn't make your bed by being into little playful dirty talk. That's between you two. She crossed the line when she made your bedroom dynamic a group discussion. I would take all the space you need, because trust isn't easy to rebuild after something like this. Not saying you have to divorce her, but you definitely deserve a partner who hypes you up, not one who puts you on blast for a cheap laugh.
I'm sorry, that's a guy.
That's not
That's
good
a guy that wrote that.
whose
Can I just say
ego
something?
would be hurt
Thank
in that
you.
situation.
That's the guy that wrote that. And also, I'm sorry, there's so many things that were said in there that's untrue. He said that the wife basically blasted him as a point of discussion. It was a statement.
It was, yeah.
She literally said one line and then proceeded to say she's sorry. This is someone that didn't
And
realise.
has been
exactly, and has been apologetic ever since.
She's not made excuses.
Exactly. So
She's just
no.
owned it.
I'm so sorry,
Calm
but
down.
that's not what it is. This is not it. This isn't a person that regularly talks behind OP's back and he's found out. That isn't the case. Don't do
And
that.
he said, put you on
Don't.
blast for a cheap laugh. Come
Exactly,
on
she
now.
didn't do
She didn't
that.
even laugh.
Yeah, as soon as she said it, she was like, "Oh, sorry. What are you talking about?"
Okay, OP's response. Thanks for the input. I plan on talking with her about it today. I just feel like my trust was so violated that I don't know that it can be repaired. That's my core issue more than anything. You phrased it well about the insecurity component. That, I think, will help me be able to constructively have a conversation, hopefully. Thank you. You need to let her know, as she will be doing far worse behind your back.
What?
No, come on.
Look, I said it before. What's Amy's character?
Yeah.
What do you think is the reason? What do you think led her to say that? Do you think it was the alcohol?
Blame it
Or
on
do you
the
think that there's resentment there?
alcohol.
Because once you answer that question, that'll tell you how to progress forward.
And don't listen to knuckleheads like
Yeah,
this.
like I'm sorry. No.
It's not the person to listen
Blame it on
to.
the juice.
This is
blame
something
it on
that you
the
should put in
liquor,
a
blame it on
girl
the
group, and the girls
alcohol,
will tell
blame it
you
on
it's
the
not that.
Okay, this dilemma is from Am I the Arsehole? Am I the arsehole for standing up for myself after an estranged friend told me she's pregnant? Hey Reddit, I, 31 female, hadn't heard from my college best friend, 29 female, since June. For context, my dog died and she ghosted me, which is which she also did when my dad died a few years prior. I'd made peace with it after therapy and know people can only meet you as much as they've met themselves. Well, last week she reached out of the blue. I respectfully expressed how she hurt my feelings and how it's shocking to hear from her and that her actions made me feel like shit during the darkest moments of my life. Well, this week she's telling me she's pregnant and that I'm going to be an aunt. Would I be the arsehole if I simply said congratulations and good luck with that and left it at that? Quite frankly, I'm not interested in giving this person another chance and don't feel like being manipulated into a relationship via a child.
Ghost her. Give her the exact same response
Literally.
that she gave you in your 2 darkest periods. She's not your friend. She was probably using you at some point for something. And the reason that I can confidently say that is because I went through the same thing.
Yep.
When somebody extremely close to me died, one of my friends disappeared. And I, like a fool, found her. And then I told her that I wasn't happy with her ghosting me. And her excuse was, oh, like, I just didn't know what to say. You had so many people around you. And it was so weak that was actually the end of our friendship after that. You just don't come back from that. You don't do that to people. Her telling you about her pregnancy, who cares? Not you. That's your answer.
Yeah, what May said. To be honest,
yeah.
yeah. There's no excuse. Your dad dying is a massive change in your life. And do you know what? What are we friends for if you can't be here through the good and the bad times? Like, what are you doing? Oh.
What is it? She's a fair weather friend.
Yeah. Not the arsehole at all. I've actually had 2 people die on me and that same person not be there. And
She was a rubbish friend.
Having gone through what you've gone through, first was my nephew, then was my cousin. And the first time I pulled her up after my nephew and, yep, poor excuse. Second time, tried to turn it around on me and said, oh, maybe I'm just not a good enough friend like you. Trust me when I say, do not get back in contact with her. Those people they're selfish. Like, for whatever reason, maybe it was a season that you lot were close. Like, no, don't let her use you again. Do not at all. I have an update. I said, congratulations, I wish your new fam the best. She said, wow, really? I said, at least I didn't ghost you, and blocked her. Thanks for the support.
Good. She deserves to get in the bin. And that's it.
Oh, we have a top comment. Not the arsehole, good for you. She is thinking of baby gifts and free babysitting, which is likely why she got in touch with you. Staying no contact, she was never a real friend.
Here. Right. Didn't I
1,000%.
say she was going to use you?
Yep.
That's it. That's anyone that abandons you
Yep.
in a dark period where you could really have done with their support.
Yep.
That's a user. And then they come back.
Yep.
No.
When it benefits them.
Okay, so mine is from Am I the Arsehole? No. No.
No.
Mine is from Bridezilla. Am I the arsehole for kicking my bridesmaid out of my party?
Oh.
I'm getting married in a few weeks and this recently happened. I've stressed since this has happened. One of my bridesmaids, let's call her Ashley, 30 female, is having money issues. I truly empathise with her. Her husband lost his job and she only works in retail. Since things are tight, when I offered her the position of bridesmaid, I told her that I'd be okay if she turned it down. I had no intention of changing my plans for one person. She insisted that it would be fine, so I happily let her be a bridesmaid. Things seemed to be going well. I tried to choose an inexpensive wedding dress and shoes, finding an inexpensive makeup artist and nail salon. In total, everything was around $350. 350 Fantastic. I've chosen to have my bachelorette party at Disneyland, which is expensive and I understand, but it's been my dream. As the trip neared, Ashley still hadn't bought her tickets. I asked her when she's going to do that since due to COVID, the parks are still at limited capacity. Plus, I'm getting tickets for the Fantasmic dining and need a number for the people coming. In brackets, I'm only asking them to pay for half of that. I asked Ashley if she's buying a ticket and she lost it, telling me it's inexcusable for me to expect her to spend upwards of $1,000 on all the festivities when she can barely afford rent. I told her she didn't have to be a bridesmaid And she told me it's ridiculous. I expected her to sit out on the activities because she can't afford them. She's a fool. Ashley told me that if I wanted her to participate, I should have paid for it. I responded that she doesn't have to worry about it anymore because she's no longer invited to the wedding. I blocked her, but some of my other bridesmaids think I overreacted and should let her be in the wedding again. So, am I the asshole for kicking Ashley out of the wedding?
No, because do you know what? You had that conversation at the very
Literally.
beginning. You let her know that you had a plan for your wedding. You wanted it to look like X and it was going to cost, well, maybe you didn't actually state the numbers, but you let her know that it would have to cost money, like it wasn't going to be free. She knew that going in. So for her to then lose it later it's outrageous and it's funny. It's funny that she thinks that you should pay. You already said that you were going to subsidize the dining experience. So it's not like you're fully passing on the cost to everybody that's coming. You're helping as much as you can. She knew going in that it would cost money. She can kick off as much as she likes. And you can tell the other bridesmaids that are speaking up on her behalf, if they want to go, they can go as well.
Can people start respecting themselves? If you cannot afford something, if you're not capable of something, take yourself out of the race, take yourself out of the game. Please. I'm sorry. Do you know what?
Take yourselves out of the race.
No, do you know what it is? Like, and I also, May knows this. I've got one thing, and one of a few, I'm not even going to lie. A few things that grate on my nerves, is making your problems my problems.
Yeah.
You, due to certain circumstances which are beyond your capacity, beyond your control, no longer have as much money. So therefore, you can't afford certain things. Unfortunately, this job requires money to be spent. That means you can't afford it. Why can you not go back to the bride? Why can the friend not go back to OP and say, do you know what, upon second thought, unfortunately, I can't do this, that and the other. And maybe you come to some kind of compromise, or maybe she could have ended up as a guest instead of a bridesmaid and attended the wedding, had and continued a friendship with the bride, OP, and all would have ended well.
Yeah,
but now, what you did, you embarrassed yourself, Embarrassed yourself by arguing with the bride and demanding with your entitled self that how she should be paying for you to go to Disneyland. Are you fucking crazy? Have you lost it? Because it appears you have, There's no need for all of that. I'm sorry, no. Everybody needs to live within their means. Be honest. Unfortunately, you can't do everything. Not everyone. We're not all on the same wages. We're not all within the same tax bracket. That's just adulting. That's just the way of life, and that's okay. But you know what? If you're a decent enough person, if you can communicate properly, you can always find a compromise. You can always work it out. But it isn't fair that the friends took it out on OP. No, sorry, that's not OP's fault at all. You're not the asshole at all.
So we have an edit. Some things that I forgot to mention. The price wasn't $1,000, not even close. It would have been around $550 per guest. I also explained to Ashley I would have been fine with her not going, as there's other bonding activities that we were doing that I can pay for. Ashley also called me selfish, a bitch, and told me that my wedding wouldn't last, which contributed to me blocking her. I told her she didn't have to come to this if she didn't have the means to do so.
OP, that was the appropriate response.
Absolutely.
Even without the background, but with the background, absolutely.
Yeah.
Top comment, I actually don't think this person is a bridezilla.
That's true.
I agree. My story comes from Mother-in-Laws from Hell. Mother-in-law asked me to attend suit choosing appointment. My fiancé and I are getting married in September. We looked at suits together online and both have a general idea of colour and style. Mother-in-law took an interest and offered to book an appointment, which is Saturday coming. Whilst texting mother-in-law making plans to meet for this appointment, he mentioned the fact that I'd be going too. A few hours later, she sent him a long-winded text about how it's such a big moment in a man's life and she would hoped it would be a mother and son thing. She said that she would envision taking her only son and his childhood friends, two best men, for their wedding suits without me there. As part of her rationale, she likened it to the bride going to choose her dress with her own mum and not the groom. She asked my fiancé to ask me not to go. Before he and I discussed anything, he responded kindly saying that he's personally not sentimental about it all and would like us all to go and would like my opinion on the suit. Her response was, okay. Now I'm feeling stuck because if I do go, it'll be super awkward. I'm massively socially awkward and anxious to start, and I will feel unwanted and as though I'm gate crashing. There will be an atmosphere. If I don't go, I'll be feeling left out of a big part of my own wedding planning. She's absolutely got narc tendencies and has done many similar things over the years, but generally speaking, we get on. I legit have never known this activity to be a tradition for mum and son bonding and thought it was perfectly normal for the bride to help choose the suit. Now, I'm in a hard position of going and it being an awkward and anxious atmosphere or not going and giving her the satisfaction of winning. Ugh.
Listen to some motivational videos, get ready and go to the suit making. This is not an issue. Don't make it more awkward than it needs to be. That's your fiancé and that's it. Like, I completely understand that you might have issues with it, but you have full rights to be there.
I'm sorry, I'm the opposite. I don't believe in that. But I don't believe in putting myself in awkward situations. I wouldn't go. Like, it's not a must that I go. You can take pictures and videos and then ask me, babe, what do you think? Like, as opposed to going on a date, it being massively awkward and you're having to do this for a few hours. Absolutely not. I would literally just let the mother-in-law have her way, have her date. It doesn't take away from me helping my fiancé with picking out a suit. We've got technology now, guys. Why put yourself in an awkward situation?
I think sometimes when it comes to these things, it depends because the person is, well, the way she's described her mother-in-law is that this is just another thing that she's done. And if she gives in today, this socially awkward business that you've got going on, it might be something else and then it's going to be something else. Like you always say, Mel, it gets worse. So sometimes you have to let people know that they're not always going to get their way, especially with mothers-in-law like that.
Yeah.
So I think just for that aspect of things, because in normal circumstances, no, I wouldn't go. But because you're going to be married into this family, and what I know about people like her, they'll always find a new way to make it awkward. So what happens when it's your own child's birthday or it's your, because you are going to start introducing new members into this family via procreation, and it could get awkward again. You have to nip it in the bud now. Sometimes I just believe in like doing something that's outside of your personality to make a point, and that's why I would do it in that particular instance. But otherwise, you know me, I'll be like, I don't even want to go to the suit fitting anyway.
Yeah,
but it depends.
Yeah, I don't think
you're wrong though.
Yeah, I think it just depends on how much it means to you.
Yeah,
like if
but it does mean something to her.
suit,
She said that she will feel left out if she doesn't go,
and that's why I said, technology, my guy.
Yeah,
please, pictures, videos. You can get a real life. Do FaceTime, whatever it may be. I think, and I'm sure Marie could attest to this, being married, you have to pick and choose your battles. Like, is this one a big one? Because if it's not so much a big one, if you can still get the same result through different means, for instance, videos, photos, etc., maybe choose that route. Yes, there will be other arguments, especially with a narc as well. Absolutely. There's going to be a different argument, a different time, a different situation. Assert yourself where it really matters. But I personally don't think this is it.
Fair enough.
And that's just a personal thing, again.
Yeah, I was going to say, honestly, just pick your battles. If you think this is one that you need to go to war for, then go for it. Otherwise, we've got a top comment. You are not the interloper. She is. Leave her out of the decision making. Stay close to your fiancé. Think of a powerful woman you know and channel her strength. Extra points if you go into the changing room with him. Go in separate cars so she can't stop shopping early. You got this.
It could go either way. Either way, do what you need to do in it.
Yeah, just how important is it to you, literally?
Girls, you know, the whole time I was reading this, I thought that it was a gay couple getting married.
Me too.
That's
only at
when
the end I was like,
that's when I
okay,
knew
cool.
I was a
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
lost. Had
yeah,
she
yeah.
not mentioned that she was a bride, I was just like,
same.
I was thrown.
I was lost
I'm
a
not
little
gonna
bit.
lie, the way
Yeah.
she typed was a bit interesting. Okay, so we have a story from Submission Corner. Hi. Firstly, I just want to say that I love your podcast.
Yeah.
It is so funny and you guys are so entertaining to watch. Thanks for creating this.
You're welcome.
Ah, you're welcome.
We're quitting.
Hey!
I'm joking.
It was on this day that I found out.
Me too.
She said, hey! I'm joking. I joke.
Okay, so my dilemma, yes. I think my former best friend might ruin my marriage. Let me explain. My former best friend is my older sister. The former?
Sometimes you have to give the appropriate title.
Sorry, that is wild, but yeah, I mean, it makes sense if it makes sense. She is a very difficult person to be around. We don't talk, and this isn't the first time we stopped talking. Our longest period was like 2 years, and it's funny because when we do talk, we are literally best friends, and she's my fave person in the whole world. I mean, she is my big sister. We had the best time together. It's sad we have the best time when she is single, but when a boy comes, hell breaks loose. Context, we're Nigerian and she is 29, my oldest brother 30, I am 23, and my youngest brother is 19. We are a Muslim household. My mum is more relaxed to religion, but my dad is more strict. But I never felt the obligation to have to be the perfect Muslim. In fact, I was allowed to do a lot of things when I was younger, and it was only when I was 22 that I decided I wanted to be a fully proper practicing Muslim and decided to wear my hijab. I always loved my religion, but now I love it more than myself, so I decided to do better. My sister isn't Muslim, she's an atheist, I think. I am 23 and I am engaged to the best person in the whole world. My sister hasn't made this an easy process. The reason my sister and I always have fallouts is her choice of boyfriends. She insists it's about something else, but we all know the truth. She has a habit of introducing every new boyfriend to the family, whether they've been together for a week or a month. Now, as I said, my dad is a very good Muslim, which is his right, and he's told us this from the day we were in the womb. He won't choose family over God. My sister refuses to listen and keeps trying to introduce her new Christian boyfriends to the family, which always leads to a huge fight.
Oh, Lord.
Her arguments with my dad create serious tensions and deep divisions within our family. If I don't approve of her partner, she picks a fight and cuts me off. If I call out her bad choices, she does the same. Her last boyfriend had 2 secret children, was ghosting her, and eventually just left. I know I'm not perfect, but if I can't be honest with her as her best friend and sister, who can? She always chooses toxic partners or friendships. I swear, it's like she puts herself in bad situations on purpose. Then, when she asks for advice and doesn't like what we say, she lashes out. She wants us to support her no matter what, but I don't agree with that kind of blind support. Do you? After her last relationship, man with kids, where she tried to fight me because I said I didn't like her boyfriend and I don't think he's good enough for her, I decided I'll never get involved in her relationship issues again. No matter how big, it causes an issue in the family. This new relationship I stayed out of. I supported her from the side. I met him and spoke to him kindly. She asked my dad about her marriage fund after 2 months of dating him. And my dad basically told her to get out of his face. As a sister, I support her, but as Muslim, I don't agree. Long story short, a bit into me meeting my fiancé, she dropped me and blocked the family, even though this time we stayed out of her drama with my dad. The day before she blocked us, I sent her a long voice note saying how much I love and support her. I had a breakdown in public when I saw the text. No offense, but her boyfriend is a yes man, and that is how they are going strong. By the way, my older brother doesn't really like speaking to her often as she is a lot of drama for him. My dad and her do not speak. This time was one of the most painful experiences. She left us out of the blue, and at that point, we were really close. When she disappeared, I had just started talking to my fiancé. I had told him she was my best friend and that they would meet soon, but then she ghosted. I was too embarrassed to explain, so I just told him she had gone away for a bit and I wasn't sure when she would be back. In the end, I was guilted into reaching out first and told her I couldn't get married without her. Now she acts like I came back grovelling, even though we've barely exchanged 10 texts in months, all initiated by me. The truth is, I want nothing to do with her. I didn't even tell her about my engagement. My mum did. Even my fiancé is confused about why I don't speak to someone I once described as great. My mum keeps hinting that he should meet her, but I've made it clear that might never happen. When she left, she truly broke me. It felt like I was mourning her because this time I knew things would never be the same. I'm in therapy, but she made me feel like a disposable toy, desperate for love and unworthy of it. How can she keep abandoning me at the first chance of a new family? I don't want her at my wedding. Even though I invited her, despite her not speaking to me, she still managed to cause drama. Mentally, I've taken the invitation back, but I suspect my mum may have secretly re-invited her. It's stressful as a bride because people call me heartless for not wanting her there. My friends think I'll regret it, and my fiancé, who doesn't fully know the context, would love to meet her. He supports whatever makes me happy, but I feel ashamed to even explain everything to him. I don't know if I should get married without her, but I worry she'll create more drama. The truth is, I don't want her in my life or anywhere near my future children. What should I do?
Be honest. Be honest. Like everything, it's almost like you're doing opposites. So like you're saying that you don't want her to be around. You're working through therapy, but at the same time, you reach out to her. If you truly want her out of your life, block her number and only see her when you have to. And that's like family gatherings and stuff like that. Talk to your mother and tell her how you truly feel. But more importantly, tell your husband to be the actual situation that's going on.
Yep.
Because of course he's going to be confused. Of course he's going to give you the wrong advice because he doesn't know the true relationship that you have. I think once you start with that honesty, it will make your decisions a lot clearer because you will also have the backing of your fiancé. It's almost like you're doing it all alone and you don't have to. You really don't.
Yep.
You could easily say to your fiancé, look, we used to be best friends, but this is how she's acted and that's why you haven't met her. Okay, you started off with a little lie, but you don't have to continue that lie because sis is making no efforts in trying to come back into your life. So I believe personally that you should just start from a new page, tell your fiancé the truth, also set your boundaries with your mother and start from there.
Yeah, like for me, this story is quite chaotic, but it sounds almost like like you have a drug addicted sister who every now and again she comes back clean with the promise that, you know, she'll stay off the drugs because it's too in and out. Like she just picks a fight as and when. She knows your dad will never respect the fact that she has a Christian partner. She's very messy.
Yeah.
And I really think that once you cut her out cold turkey, you will be at peace. And yeah, please, please, please do talk to your future husband.
Yeah.
Because I also feel like it'll be really good for you to just unburden this.
Yeah.
Like this story that's really weighing on your chest. And I think that you maybe have residual feelings of like being really, really hurt and disappointed by her. Like, I think it's almost childlike in the way you described her as well. Like, she's my best friend in the whole world. It's almost like you have all of these expectations and wants of her to be this person that you every now and again get a glimpse of, but it's actually not who she is. Like, unfortunately, she is a source of pain for you. Like you said it, she broke you the last time that she just completely ghosted you. You shouldn't want anyone in your life that picks you up and drops you as and when it suits them anyway. Yeah. So honestly, tell your future husband to be, and just, I'm sure any direction that you go in is the direction that he'll move in. He sounds very, very supportive. I think that your family will be at peace once you make this decision as well. Mm-hmm. And yeah, communicate with your mum. If you don't want her there, then yeah, she shouldn't be at your wedding.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with everything that the girls have said. The only thing I would do is maybe just a last message to your sister and be open and tell her how you feel. It sounds like she's created attachment issues for you as well. because it's not fair to be picked up and dropped as and when, like whether it's with your friends or family, it's not nice. And I think we make more of an allowance when it's with family. We forgive them a lot, or not necessarily even forgive them. We just crack on, as I always say. We just get on with it, like, because often there's not repercussions for family members. Like, this is your family, you have to love them, you have to, do you know what I mean? So, and especially being African as well, we all know it. So, yeah, let your sister know once and for all and tell her that you're done. Like, literally just say, look, through the years I've been there for you, through every relationship, but you can't keep doing this to me. I love you, but I can't let this continue. Be done, and then obviously send all the other messages and be clear with everybody, as the girls have said, your mum, your fiancé, all of that, and get therapy. And you will then feel like a weight has been lifted off of your chest, because it sounds like you're holding in a lot, and you'll be free. You'll be free. You'll feel better for it. You'll be clearer in terms of decisions that you need to make, how you want to move forward. Yeah. And ultimately, good luck and congratulations on your wedding.
And we have a last story from our submissions corner. I'm a 26-year-old woman, and this is my story. When I was 18, my family disowned me for wanting to marry a Muslim man. My husband and I have been together since we were 14, and when he proposed at 19, I said yes without hesitation. I was genuinely happy with my decision, but telling our families didn't go well. We told his family first, and it was a disaster. His father had passed away when he was young, and as the firstborn, his uncles and mother took the news horribly. Not only was I from a different religion, but I was also from a different tribe. We are African. They immediately kicked us out. The next day, I had to face my own family. My father called me horrible names, while my mother just cried in the background. My siblings called me young, immature, and naive, insisting I didn't know what I wanted. In the end, they kicked me out too. With nowhere to go, my boyfriend and I started renting an apartment using the inheritance he had from his grandparents. We were both in university at the time. He was in his second year of chemical engineering, and I was in my second year of medicine. After processing how horribly everything had gone, we decided to transfer to a university abroad and build a life far from the negativity. Long story short, it worked. We moved to Australia, we got married, and after working tirelessly to fund our education, we both graduated with honours. We've built a stable, happy life together, and we are truly content. The dilemma: I'm currently pregnant with triplets.
Whoa.
I have never blocked my family on social media, so they've seen our life from a distance. For 8 years, neither my family nor his have reached out. Then a few weeks ago, I posted a picture of my husband and me at the beach, and my baby bump was extremely visible. 2 weeks later, my husband received an email from his mother and sister, which he refused to open. Around the same time, I got a call from my home country's code. Out of curiosity, I answered. It was my older sister. The conversation was awkward at first, but after some small talk, she started apologising. She told me that everyone at home misses me and that my mother hasn't been the same since I left. I was the last born, and my mum was my best friend. She also told me that the news of my pregnancy had spread back home and that my family, as well as my husband's, is apparently overjoyed. She said his family even reached out to mine and they've come to an agreement to reconcile with us. At this point, tears were running down my face, but I told her the truth. I am not in a space to entertain more hurt and pain. If reconciliation ever happens, it will be on our terms, not theirs. She started crying, but I was emotionally drained, so I simply hung up. My husband didn't take the news well. He has no interest in reconciliation. We are both still hurt, and above all, we want to protect our babies. This was in January. The latest update: 2 days ago, we received a letter from both our parents. They stated that our mothers will be coming to Australia and would like to meet. My husband is absolutely against it, and honestly, I'm right behind him. Right now, I'm leaving the decision in his hands. He is the head of our home, and I trust him to do what's best for our family. He has asked me to focus on the pregnancy and not to stress. Should we give them a chance? Would love to hear your thoughts.
No. The reason why it's a straight no is because you politely responded back to them. Even though your husband didn't want anything to do with the message that he received, you responded and said it would be on your terms. Now they're trying to force you by announcing that the mothers will be in Australia so that you look like the bad people in this story if you decide to reject them and not meet them. That's not fair. You said you wanted to do things on your terms and yet they're forcing your hand. That's so unfair to you, and especially you're carrying triplets. Like, it seemed for there to be a baby bump, it's telling me that you're quite some way into your pregnancy. This is undue stress. It's unfair.
Yeah, I agree. I think when it comes to this story in particular, like the part about, you know, I think the reason why you're saying that your husband is the head of the household, and I might be wrong, is because you're just focused on being pregnant. You're just focused on your mental state in that pregnancy. And you're just like, this is just not something that I need to worry about right now. So I'll let him deal with it, especially that you feel the same way. But at the same time, if you want to have a relationship with your parents, it is your right.
Yeah.
I just want to put that out there. It's not up to him what relationship you have with your sisters. It sounds like you are a little bit open to it, but you just want to pause on that. Whereas he is absolutely not involved with that decision. And that is his right. He doesn't have to have a relationship with his side of the family. But it's you should choose to, you can start building that back with your family if you choose to. But at the same time, just like you said in your initial conversation with your sister, it has to be on your terms. And your parents or your mothers coming into town to big Australia is, where will they stay? Like, they need to relax and stay where they are until you give them the get-go. Or even if you decide to go back home to visit, that should be what should happen here.
Can I just ask, you know the letters that the parents said, they apologised, right? Did they?
No. The 2 days ago, we received letters from our parents. They say that our mothers will be coming to Australia. That's it.
Okay.
It doesn't say anything about apology. It just says that they would. I think it's the thing that's triggered them.
I got confused because I think because the sister apologised and also said the mum hasn't been the same. I don't think there's anything wrong with reconciliation. It has to be that's a decision for you to make. I'm not like May. I'm not adamant that no, you shouldn't meet with them. It's not fair, etc., etc. I think if you feel like you want to and you would maybe want to just meet them, like go to lunch or something, I think that's absolutely fine. If your husband is against it, that's fine. He's well within his rights. He has no interest in doing so. That's fine. You shouldn't force him, and vice versa. You shouldn't feel forced by your husband to not reconcile when you are open to reconciliation. That's the only thing that I would say. I think if they are prepared to say sorry and work on creating a relationship with you and your new family, your kids that are on the way, and you're open to it, go ahead. Like, I do think if someone says sorry and they want to change and they're being proactive because your mothers are on their way to Australia, like, that's a huge deal, but it's only if they do want to change. If they expect things to fall back like how they used to, and honestly, being African, a lot of African parents, that generation, do think that what they say goes and they don't need to apologise to anyone, especially their kids, etc. If they have that attitude, you're well within your rights to say absolutely not. However, if you want to reconcile and they are also trying to ask for your forgiveness and to have a new relationship with you, I do think you should give them the benefit of the doubt. And it can start small. Go to lunch. Don't have them in your house. No. Set boundaries, but you can start to have conversations. You can meet them for lunch, etc., etc. Those are my thoughts.
Honestly, do what you're comfortable with. I just really hate the fact that your hand's being forced. That's my thing, because they're just showing up. It's announced, yeah, but
but she never said they're coming to live with them. You can be in the same country as someone.
It doesn't matter.
It's a free world.
It does. I think ultimately you need to ask yourself how you'll feel fast forward to about in a year's time if you didn't meet them versus if you did meet them, and just how comfortable are you with meeting up with them? That's basically it.
I'll tell you something for nothing. When you are pregnant, hey, you could see your worst enemy, and if they give you a seat on a bus, you'll be like, oh, he was so kind to me, and maybe he's not that bad. Or it could go either way, because those pregnancy hormones, I don't know for them. So making decisions while you're highly hormonal, that's why I say just settle down and worry about not worry about your pregnancy, but go through your pregnancy and make the decisions that feel best for you right now. But and I understand why you said, you know what, let my husband deal with this. But until you feel like you are 100%, I think you should lay low for now.
Fair enough. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for listening, and let us know what your favourite story was from today.
See you then.
Take care. Bye.